Yes, hello, how is the mic sounding? I'm going to speak about this loud, or louder if you need me to, or softer if you need me to do that.
Hey, so you guys have been to London quite a bit, I think, from your inception. Like, you played at the Keaton for Pocket Change a few years ago, and then you did recently this month 4 Will Hall at Fanshawe.
Which was the second time we'd done that.
Oh, that was the second.
And we've done Call the Office before. And we did Lola, is that the festival? We did that.
In the rain, too.
Not this year, but the year before, in the pouring rain, yeah.
A lot of my friends are in bands, and it seems like the only way they can even do well is to sign with American label.
We're signed to a U.S. label now in the U.S. We also are signed to a Canadian label in Canada, so we haven't completely abandoned our roots. But for the last 2 years, we've been touring on our EP, which was released on Paper Bag Records, which is a Canadian label. And I think, it doesn't make it easier to get into the States and stuff with a Canadian label, but I think if you're really, if you're willing to do it, then it doesn't matter what label you're on. We always just had, we always had in our heads that we didn't want to be confined to Canada, and we didn't want to be one of those bands that sort of toured back and forth all the time and was kind of trapped here. And so right off the bat, we said, we're going to go tour the States, and we're going to play tiny venues for no money and very few people. We're just going to keep doing it until people come. And eventually people did come. And, that was all sort of just a result of our hard work and dedication. And then that opened the door to signing to an American label, which in turn will now make it a lot easier for us to get bigger crowds and tour there more. So it's definitely, having an American label helps to break into there, but I think we managed to do pretty well with that one.
Yeah, for sure. And did you find any restrictions with Paper Bag or any more resources with Saddle Creek, or is that just the fact that you have a bigger fan base now?
Well, Saddle Creek is definitely a bigger label than Paper Bag, and that's not to talk shit about Paper Bag. They're just, there's labels are different sizes, and Saddle Creek is not as big a label as Matador, which isn't as big a label as a major label, So there's plenty of different sizes of label out there, and I think Paper Bag did great for us with the EP, and I think exceeded everyone's expectations, especially ours. But then we felt, we just felt that we were ready to sort of take the next step and go for it with a bit of a bigger label. We didn't want to make the full step up to a major label, but Saddle Creek really seemed like a logical next step for us.
And what are some of those things that with the digital online realm of things interfering with labels? Like, how are you guys approaching that?
No one really knows how to approach it, I think, and that's why it's such a weird time right now. Is there's all this stuff going on with the illegal downloads and leaks of albums, and iTunes becoming such an important force, and all the digital stuff, and bands getting hyped so quickly on the blogs and all that stuff. And I think labels have been scrambling, trying to figure out how to best take advantage of that. But I don't know how well it's working, It's sort of, by the nature of it, stuff like the blogs and the internet hype is very viral and user-based. And so I think labels trying to sort of force bands into that hyped role, it's never going to work, because people want to discover stuff themselves, and that's the whole point of it. You just sort of try and use the internet for all the positive things that can be used for, interacting with fans, getting stuff out there in a really cool way, a really fast way. And, Saddle Creek, I think, is one of the labels that's really forward-thinking and really working on a way to do that and to take advantage of the internet in the best way possible, without screwing the artist with the label over and, giving everything away for free. So it's a delicate balance, but we're working on it.
You guys are the same age as I am. I think you're all 20 as well, and you've all dropped out of universities like McGill. And were you at Ryerson, or was that someone else?
Greg, our drummer, was at Ryerson. I wasn't at any university.
You weren't at any, so you didn't really have that departure from
academia.
No. Okay, so that's not really a big thing then.
No, I was planning on going to university, so I definitely abandoned that plan, and I hope to go back to it someday.
Do you feel like you're getting so much hype for being 20 years old, or do you feel like
I don't know.
It doesn't really faze you because it's...
I kind of thought that we were, I never thought that we were crazy hyped, but I thought that we were doing pretty well, and I saw Vampire Weekend come along.
No, that's another realm.
I thought maybe we weren't actually getting hyped at all, and nobody knew who we were. I think we've got the right amount of hype or buzz or whatever you want to call it, if that is it. I think had we got the Vampire Weekend or the Arctic Monkeys, you know, the Black Kids, that crazy hype where all of a sudden you're just out there for everyone to see and you're in the public eye so quickly, I think we might have gone insane. And I don't know how people deal with it. They seem to. I mean, the Arctic Monkeys were about our age when all that stuff went down for them.
Yeah.
And they really seem to keep their feet on the ground pretty well. Yeah. And I think that's great. I don't know if we would have been able to, but we've been able to, you know, we've had enough sort of word going around that it's helped us sort of get into places that we wouldn't have gotten to otherwise, but not so much that it's really blowing our load too early.
We've almost gone to every single amazing festival, at least in the Western world possible.
Good.
Was it like this totally new experience for you to be chumming around like at Glastonbury with all these other bands that you've
totally it was
seen
definitely
and read about?
You know, and it was the kind of thing where when I was a kid listening to music, you know, I would always think about these festivals and read about these festivals in the UK, and they seem so great but so far away and unattainable. Like, look at all these great bands playing in one place. If only I could ever possibly see that, but I'll never be able to.
No.
And then, to be able to play them, to be invited to play them is amazing. I love it. I love just playing outside and bumming around backstage and celebrity spotting. We've mastered the art of sitting around the catering tent gawking at famous people that we see. It's the best place to celebrity
Any favorites so far?
I saw Tom from Blink-182, now Angels and Airwaves, but I used to be a huge Blink fan.
Really?
And so we saw him walking around at Reading Festival.
Okay, yeah.
That was pretty cool.
That's awesome. Yeah. And you can kind of hide and they won't notice.
Exactly. We've gotten really good at that. And also really good at scavenging food. We're the beggars of all the festivals. We always go back to the catering tent at night. We're like, you guys got anything left? Just throw everything out. Is there some fruits, some meats, some bread? We can make some sandwiches. We'll do it. Get them on film.
Scavenge. He was mentioning how you guys scavenge for sandwiches after concerts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where?
At festivals. Going to the catering.
Hove?
Yeah.
Good times.
The new record? It's called Elephant Shell. It comes out April 22nd in Canada on Meanbeard Records, which is our record label. We worked on it for 2 years. It was a struggle, but we're all really proud of what we came up with. I actually am taking a break from listening to it right now because I listened to it too much when we recorded it. But I love it, and I'm guilty of really liking my own band a lot. And I think this is the best thing we've done.
We've gone on trial.